In this online pattern cutting tutorial, I will be showing you how to create a pattern for a short flowered sleeve. This style can have many variations. We will be working with the Womenswear half scale block, which you should have on PDF. Here is a calico toile of the pattern made up. Firstly, we will need to trace our half scale sleeve block onto pattern paper. In this case, I'm using A3 layout paper. As it's a short style, trace the top of the sleeve and stop at the elbow line. Mark on the central grain line, mark on the bicep line, and square down from bicep line so it's a 90-degree angle at the bottom of the sleeve. Measure along the bicep line and divide the sleeve into 4. Number each section before cutting it out. Cut out the top of the sleeve. So now you will need a new piece of paper. Cut up each of the section lines, but leave it attached just at the top like a little hinge. Draw in the grain line. And then keeping the sleeve attached at the top, we're going to add some volume into the bottom of the sleeve. So we're going to put 12 centimetres between each section. So obviously here I'm measuring 6 centimetres on either side first of all. Position this and then tape it down with some magic tape. So keep the top of the sleeve together and just fan out the bottom by 12 centimetres on each section. So once you're happy that the pieces have all been evenly distributed, it's time to then draw in your new curved hemline. For this I'm using my flexi curve. Of course, if you don't have a flexi curve, you can use your pattern master, you can use your grader ruler. It just takes a little bit of practice to get used to drawing these curves, but it's really a very big part of pattern cutting, so you just have to try and have a go at it anyway. So I'm drawing in all the sections. As you can see, the hem is really much wider than it was previously. So now that we're finished with the hem, we're just going to do a little bit of work on the top of the sleeve, which isn't really quite smooth enough to sew. So we're just going to, what we call in pattern cutting, blend these lines so they're nice and smooth. Because if you were trying to sew those on the sewing machine, you wouldn't be able to actually do it really. So as you can see, that means I've had to add in about 0.5 centimetre just at those sections where it goes in a little bit. So that's at the very top and at the 2 other parts where I cut the sleeve sections. And now the next thing we need to do is we need to put this on the bias grain. Usually with styles like this we would cut them on the bias because they would just hang nicer. So to find the bias grain is very easy. Look on your pattern master, your grader ruler, whatever equipment you're using, look for the 45-degree angle, then put that line on top of your original grain line and trace, and that will give you 45-degree angle, which is the true bias grain. which is the grain line that you will now be cutting this sleeve on. So finally, we just got to add our seam allowance. Because we are working half scale, we are just going to do 1/2 centimetre for that. So it's 1/2 centimetre everywhere. And I would also put 1/2 centimetre on the hem as well, because styles which have like a very big hem can't really have a deep hem anyway. So 1/2 centimetre would be just about right. Don't forget to mark on your notches, because you're going to need them later whenever you're setting your sleeve into your bodice. So now you need to cut your sleeve out. So just write on your grain line your instructions to the cutter. In this case it's sleeve cut 1 pair. And that's us finished the flared sleeve.